Hey, what's up, everybody? Is the bull market over? Let's take a look at Bitcoin, the technical analysis and on-chain analysis, and decide where we think Bitcoin is headed. Make sure you slam that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. Let's get right into it. So I've shared this multiple times, and there's a lot of newcomers in this bull market, in this crypto cycle. There's a lot of new participants. So this needs to be shown for people that are just coming into the space or just started buying in 2019, 2020, or 2021. If you have already seen this, you can move forward to the next part of the video, and that's just going over the pullbacks in 2017. So we had a huge bull run from $1,000 to $20,000. Actually, if we started in 2016, the price was $225. So, I mean, and if you got to the bottom of, if you caught the bottom, $154 all the way to $20,000. But what I want to show you guys is all the pullbacks. Like, take a look at these pullbacks right here. 36%, that's one. You have another one right here, which is about 35%. You have one right next to it, which is another 32%. And then, so that's three. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that was deep. That was almost 40%. And we still kept the bull trend intact. And then this pullback here, about 28%. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pullbacks, and all a lot larger, 30 up to 40% pullbacks. And now if we look at 2020, where we are right now, 2021, you can see we've had some similar pullbacks. This was before we even broke all-time high. This was before we broke all-time high. So if we look at these pullbacks right here, about 29%, and then that huge pullback where everybody thought the bull run was over, that was about 52% from the top, which was pretty nasty, honestly, and everybody thought the bull market was over. But if you look at 2013, and let me pull up the Meyer bands, I think Bitcoin, Meyer multiplier bands Bitcoin. Okay, so if we go into it, hopefully that's the right one. Yeah, so you can see in 2013, we had a huge pullback as well. And then we had that second pump. In 2017, we just had one pump, just kind of one move upwards. I mean, we did have a huge blow off top going into the $20,000, but we didn't have this 2, 3, 4 months consolidation period, which we had this bull market. So people are kind of putting 2013 bull run and this bull run together because they are looking and acting very similar. So that is Ethereum supply shock, which I did not mean to show. So if you can see this, we had the consolidation here, which is almost in line with this consolidation right here. So, I mean, all the technicals are screaming that the trend is over. It doesn't look too pretty on the chart when this happens right here, but we continue to move forward from these lows another 1,600%. So another 16x we moved forward. I'm only looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4x for Bitcoin to move here, so we can move up into $100,000 range. So this is looking very similar to 2013. So if you see here, we tapped this very oversold area, which we actually broke under here. So let's pull this up into larger view for us. So you can see here, we fell into the oversold, which was a huge buy, and now we're making our way back up. You can see that the overbought area, which we tapped twice in 2013, is well over $200,000. So that is the goal. We want to see Bitcoin get back up there. So let's get deeper into the technicals right now because we're looking on a large scale, basically Bitcoin's whole life, and let's look into it deeper. So we have right here, I have one of my favorites on smaller moving averages on larger time frames. This is the 4 right here, this is the 9, and this is the 4. So using the 4 and 9 moving average, I'll show you the last few signals. So this was a buy right here. I mean, you got whipsawed a few times. This was a sell before the March crash and COVID. You got about 9K and then you got back in about 7K. I mean, it's not the best for buying sometimes. I mean, selling and taking profits or buying the bottoms, but it helps with giving you an overall picture of the trend changing, especially on larger time frames. So you bought here, and that buy from 7,600 was good all the way up until $55,000. So if you actually took the 4 and 9 death cross sell right here, you got around $54,000, and you bought back around $37,000. So that's almost a $20,000 difference, and about 32% that would have saved you could have stacked that more on Bitcoin, which we're almost 100% over. So that's awesome gains using this one moving average tool. So you see right here, we got the buy at 37, retested right here at 47. We didn't get the cross, and now we're all the way at 57. So honestly, that's $20,000 more. And if this continues, it would be a very profitable buy. So let's look right here. You can see here that we are getting a potential crossover. So I would actually exit a little bit of my stack from Bitcoin because it worked so well here. And worst case scenario, it's a whipsaw. It crosses and crosses back. You may lose a few percents if that's your strategy, but it has worked very well. It works very well on alts and actual traditional ETFs, stocks, and all that great stuff. So let's look deeper than the moving averages. So I was looking for the prior all-time high to get crossed, which we actually looking like we did break it to the upside, but we got rejected. Like we didn't break above. We didn't use this as support. You can see this huge. This is a bearish candle to me right here because you can see that we tried to break above it on the weekly, but then we had a ton of sellers, and then we have the bearish engulfing candle right next to it. So if we look at this pullback right here on the weekly, so we had a large move, and that's given. So yeah, we had a large move right here. I was gonna go into something, but I'm like, let's just focus on the technicals. So we have a large move, and then we had a pullback of about 24%. So if we throw our fibs on it from our lower point to our higher high, you can see that it wicked past this, but the 38.2 was very well respected, and then it actually moved to our TP right here. So this was an awesome buy, and that was your exit. That would have worked very flawlessly. So if we go to the next move right here, so if we move this up to this low right here, and then this high right here, you can see that the 38.2 is hitting right now. That's hitting right now. How much of that is about 20%? So if we want to see about 25% like we did here, we would be coming to this buy area, which is about 50 grand. I'm not saying 50 grand will, hit, or we might dump that low, but it is very possible for us to move down into the 50Ks and still be in an uptrend. So you can see here, this is important zone to me because you can see that this was major support here. Support got rejected here. Support, broke down, support, and then we broke down below it, and then you can see we actually got rejected here. So, and not only is it major support and resistance, it is a huge psychological area. $50,000. It's a huge round number. It's halfway to $100,000. And I think the $50,000 mark is very important to a lot of people. So you can see if we break down here, this would be a huge buy. We're just completing this kind of perfect market structure in a sense. So I'm not sure we'll get that low. So you can see higher high, higher low, higher high to break the all-time high, and now we're just coming to put in another low before we move up to the next target, which I have at $87,000, and I'll actually be taking a little bit of profit when we hit that. So this is like a best case scenario. Bitcoin follows its uptrend, and you can see how like that lines in perfectly. So would 50K surprise me? Not at all. Do I know where it's going? It's super hard to say. I mean, I was long. at 57K. I think on my Bybit video 2 days ago, I showed that, and I just kept stacking. I closed it in for a little bit of profit. It was nothing crazy, but that's it. Like the weekly is looking solid. If I remove these drawings, you can see that the daily is breaking down on market structure right here. So we might have just some sort of, little pullback that we need to kind of reverse to keep the uptrend intact. If we do, so let me go back. If we do break the 50 mark right here, and we start trading below this, I would start to get a little bit worried, honestly. And if the moving averages cross, then let me just get that perfect. If the moving averages cross, just trying to line that perfectly. Yeah, if the moving averages cross on the weekly, then I'll be exiting a little bit, and I'll be re-entering the stack. So you need to use that same strategy for entry and exit. Like, I'm not gonna enter or exit a specific amount of Bitcoin here and then just exit on a random strategy. I mean, I might if I know what I'm doing, but if you're gonna stick to one strategy, then stick to it. So you would buy on the cross, you'd sell on the death cross, and you stick to that strategy, because when you think you're not gonna buy this time because you think it's a whipsaw, that's the time it explodes. Or you don't think you're gonna sell here because it's not gonna fall too much, then it falls 50% and then it consolidates for a few months. So stick with the strategy. Very simple. We're looking at Bitcoin at a higher time frame. If you guys want to do some Bitcoin trading together on Bybit, we'll go on smaller time frames. We'll intraday trade. Let's look at some on-chain analysis. This is shrimps buying, and this is retail holders for 1 Bitcoin and higher. And you can see that they are accumulating right now during this dip. A ton of buying happening here. This is from Wu. Check him out, Willy Wu, huge on-chain analyst. And one of the best in my opinion. And this is a Bitcoin supply shock chart, and you can see holder demand is actually moving upwards. Like, this kind of looks like it just broke this small downtrend right here, and you can see speculative demand is moving up as well, while price is moving down. When we've seen these Bitcoin supply shocks, Bitcoins went up. And I've been seeing these charts work very, very, very well. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. We have large wallets, we have retail wallets, we have shrimps. They're just stacking Bitcoin right now. In the supply shock, the supply of Bitcoin is slowly diminishing. So we're seeing a supply shock, which has been awesome for Bitcoin price. So is the bull run over? I don't think so. I think we'll keep moving forward for a few months, and this is the time for us to really be on top of things, on top of our stacks, on top of our trades, because you want to make sure you don't miss a huge opportunity to take some profits off the table or whatever it may be. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're going to be slaying Q4 together. We're going to be putting out a video a day. So let's get these profits. Let's stack some Bitcoin together before the end comes. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.